What choice he have? This is such a good soundtrack. I love it. I don't think Kageaki can win against the bandit leader. Kageaki, what's your decision? Oh my god. Forgot about them? And they apparently like are very important characters. I think like something like that will happen. You really ending this like that? Hello and welcome, PocketWatch here, and it's about time for another episode of Muramasa. So yeah, you wasn't very active on the last episode, but that's like, I understand because it was like the best episode. And yeah, apparently the next episode, today's episode, is going to be gorgeous. So even though I remember that we are starting off with pretty sad scene, I'd say, and intense, with Hikaru being in her bed, I'm looking forward to potentially gorgeous wallpapers I might have after this, so let's continue and let's see what's going to happen. If you like the episode, then like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. If you did not subscribe, then please do so, and let's go. Oh, the music. It hits right like from the start. Damn. I'm sad for Hikaru actually in these flashbacks. She's so savage later on, but god damn it. Maybe she's like on some kind of path of revenge? I don't know. What the fuck?! This is not gorgeous! What the fuck?! Wow! Are you serious? What the shit?! Oh, for fuck's sake, you got me, guys. Oh. This is safe for work, right? I mean, it's not, but oh my god, I don't know what to do with this on YouTube. Is there a nipple? That's not. Okay, so this is safe, probably. This is kind of drastic, I will just like follow it up. What the fuck, she was like scratching herself, I guess. Beating herself, biting, what the fuck? Shit! What is the start? Oh. With the darkness of the unlit dojo, I slide my sword smoothly from its sheath. The blade is 82 centimeters long, with a straight temper pattern. Forged in Noshu within the last century, it has no shame. Sorry, I had to cut a little bit. The blade is 82 centimeters long, with a straight temper pattern. Forged in Noshu within the last century, it has no name. It belonged to my father, who gave it to me before I left for the war. After my discharge, I had the army frills replaced with standard trimmings. The sword is in pristine condition, its edge razor sharp. I can slice effortlessly through straw mats, bamboo, and even flesh and bone. I am certain. Yeah, he's going to kill the bandits. Like, I was like thinking on the last episode, like, what choice he have? Like, how do you deal with the bandits at this point? Like, you just cannot get rid of them, right? Unless like Minato family is willing to like pay them basically every day, and they will just like take a blame of the like, I mean not a blame, the burden of the whole town, I guess. Maybe then they would stop, but probably not because leader have a grudge with Kageaki right now, so I harden myself against the horror and disgust that any man must feel when he resolved to violate the most sacred of loves. I will kill them, I must. The bandit captain, her brother, and anyone else who rise to take their place. Also, seeing Hikaru like that, it definitely boosted his like, I will do anything thought. for her. God damn it, that was like... Also, this song is still playing. This is such a good soundtrack, I love it. Without a leader, the pack will scatter. This is the only path left to me. I have now forgotten what my mother asked for of me, however I cannot comply. I see no path to a peaceful resolution. If even promises sealed with a single combat have no worth, then what hope is there? Ooh. It's a simple matter of power. If the town had the strength to defy them, they would not have come here in the first place. And since we do not have the strength, they risk nothing by defaulting on their word. Nothing save their honor, but I was a fool for believing in that. What weakness of the mind allowed me to believe that warriors who had already debased themselves through banditry, and before that, by serving the treacherous Rokuhara, might value pride over power? If they had even a shred of descendancy left, they would not be preying on the helpless. I feel like Kageaki will maybe... I don't think Kageaki can win against the bandit leader. I think she will be too strong for him. Unless he will, like, again, do something like cheating, basically. I have a feeling like he will kill her brother. Maybe by accident, and then she will, like, go into rage mode and take her revenge on him, basically. Maybe then she will kill his mother. Or maybe she will go to kill his sister, and Subaru will protect Hikaru. This is like entirely possible scenario as well. I should have seen it from the beginning. If a creature is given wholly to violence, then only violence can bring it to heal. And so I will kill them. I will cut off the head and let the body die. Even now I believe in my mother's teaching. The true warrior is one who archives victory with no loss of life. But that is only possible when facing a fellow human. Against beasts without coincidence, even the loftiest ideal is powerless. They understand only the one thing: might. No, perhaps it might still be possible to tame them without bloodshed, to follow the true warrior way. But that would require effort, ingenuity and time. Yeah, he's definitely going to try to do something like assassination or something. He's going like all in to help Hikaru. He's just doing anything, he don't care about his pride and honor. Can you blame him, though? Like, come on, his, like, only sister is dying, right? And that's the only way, like, he can, like, potentially save her. It's like the one chance he have for her to survive. He don't know if that doctor can, like, actually help. But this is, like, the only choice he have. I have no time. Hikaru has no time. I cannot chase perfection, not now. Not with my sister's life hanging by the thread. I have no choice but to disobey my mother's order. There can be no forgiveness for such an act, nor would I ask it for. If I could, I'd write a letter of final parting and leave it on my desk. Sorry. Your unworthy son, it reads, must become the monster to defeat it. Should I fall? Do not avenge me. Oh wow, yeah. Because she said she would avenge him. Oh, I have chills. Oh my god. A blunt message, but it will do. I don't think like this is going to be a gorgeous episode. Did you lie to me? Oh my god. Let me know in the comments if you like this episode. Do you think like this episode is like the best part basically of episode 5? Or do you think like there will be something even better? Or maybe the best part of the episode 5 is already gone? Let me know in the comments what you think. I move through the courtyard slowly. taking care not to make a sound. My mother's senses are sharp, ordinary. I would have little hope to avoiding detection, and even less of explaining the sword slung over my shoulder. Tonight, however, she's occupied with a guest. I'll have to pass in front of the room when they are conversing, but as long as I remain perfectly silent, I should be able to sneak by. I wonder what they're talking about. I recognize the voice coming through the screen doors. He must be here to discuss the bandits again, or perhaps to push for Hikaru's succession. Neither topic is likely to be pleasant for my mother, but for tonight I must consider myself lucky. Thanks to the old master, I make it across the yard without incident. I wonder if he's like just trying to tell Subaru that okay, we don't have to deal with bandits thanks to Kageaki, we can do this like some other way. And Kageaki basically, what he's doing now is for nothing. I mean, not for nothing, but he could avoid this if he would just wait. Yeah, we don't know. Kageaki don't know. The main gate is right in front of me. I breathe a sigh of mixed guilt and relief, undo the lock, and begin to ease the gate open. Just a little more. Oh, he's out. A sharp casting brings me up short.
貴様のことを港のおふくろ様などと呼んでいる連中にそのやりようを教えてやりたいものだな。影焼に
Oh.
敵を殺すなと命じただと、バカを。それでは影焼が一方的に殺されるのを待つばかりではないか。奴が殺さぬからといって。
Well, he survived one time.
同じようにする理由はなかろう。
そりゃそうだね。
奴らに通じるのは言葉でも道理でもない。力だけだ。
Is he going to like get convinced by this heard conversation and not go actually?
あの手合いにはこちらも力を見せつけてやる以外に刃を収めさせる方法などない。
Depends what Subaru will tell.
抑止力というものだ。こちらにも貴様らを殺すだけの力があると教えねばならんのだ。
だから殺す。殺したらそこで全部終わりだよ、本家。戦いがじゃなくて平和がね。誰かを殺せば報復に誰かが殺される。
Yeah.
その報復に殺せばまた誰かが報復に殺される。あ、
だからどうした？先に奴らを殺し尽くしてしまえばよいだけの話だ。こちらの方が数は多い。
He literally brought up what I was joking around in the previous episode. We have more people in the family and they will just go like faster down. So wow, he actually made a point with this. Okay.
殺して殺されてそれを散々繰り返してその最後に平穏が戻ったとして何か意味があるかい？犠牲に見合うほどの意味がさ。
平和を勝ち取ったという誇りが残る。無意味というか貴様は。
言わないけどね。誰も殺さずに平和を守ることほどの価値じゃない。
But it's not always possible though. Like, I wonder if Subaru can give any solution, actually. Because I understand her way of thinking, but really, she gives no solution. She just tells us like what to not to do, but she have no idea what should be done then. So we still have only one option to save Hikaru. And the town.
夢物語だ、バカめ。そんな夢のために貴様は影焼の命を捨てさせようというのだ。まったく冷酷な女よ。仮にも母親のすることとも思えぬ。
Wow.
所詮は血の縁のない義理の息子。
Wow, okay.
どうなろうと知ったことではないというわ
I
けか。
wonder if she's going to snap or she will go like, yeah, that's right. The old master words are doped as mean, as a reprimand. That is my modern response, hard and cold. That better suits the description.
影焼に不殺を命じたのは武人としてのこと。厳しいのは当然だね。
Okay.
何？
That face. Doesn't he look kind of like Yoda here?
矛を止めると書いて武の一文字。それが楽なもんなわけはないさ。
Yeah, the problem is... It's tool to save, it's also tool to kill, and sometimes... It's like... We have this motive all over like the animes, mangas, stories. Like... To save like 100 you will need to kill one, for example, or something. It's the same like with the Fate series, when we have like the Guardian, the Archer, basically. Or Emiya. No, not Emiya. Kiritsugu. Like, he wants to save people, but he has to kill. Basically, the more he kills, the more he saves, but the more he saves, the more he kills. Like, this is the... never ending. That's pretty depressing.
影焼は敵の命じゃなく悪意を断つために戦う必要がある。口で言えば一言でもやるとなったらどれほど過酷かあんたに言われるまでもない。諸葛孔明は万王の猛覚を屈服させるために7度勝って7度許した。それだけのことを影焼もしなくちゃならないだろう。
Interesting. Okay, interesting. Sorry, I was about to switch to my language.
寝言にでも聞こえるかい本家。でもそれくらいしないと心の刃は折れないだろうね。鉄の刃は一度で折れる。けれどそいつは武じゃない。ただの力だ。
Yeah, that's not easy. But to be honest, you don't have time for this now. This is a way, right, if you have time. But Hikaru is literally dying, and she can like die next night, literally. She's like killing herself.
力は次の戦を呼ぶばかり。正しい武だけが戦を終わりにできる。本家、あんたと私が影焼に命じたのはそういうことだよ。
死ぬに決まっておるぞ。
死は武人の定めのうち。あの子にはその覚悟がある。
Is he though?
立派な言い草だ。武人の鏡だな。母親としては何も思うところはないのか。武道の者としてこう七に投げ捨ててそれきりか。
そうだね。
The trail's off. Her voices again, the sleepy drawl. I'm so accustomed to.
母親としては一緒に死んでやるくらいか。
Shit.
なんだ
That's bad. Mother?
あの子に言ったんだよ。お前が死んだらお前を死なせたやつを全員殺すってね。
Oh no! Oh my god.
当たり前だろ。
She got him. Kageaki, what's your decision? Oh my god. Basically, to save Hikaru, he will have to kill his mother. I mean, not have to, because he will not die, obviously. But what if he will, like, get injured? Right? And he will be, like, captured or something, and the bandits will just claim that he's dead.
んたが言うように、あの子を七へ追いやったのは私なんだから。
Let's just continue.
観客を気取ってるわけにはいかないね。一連卓勝さ。私の命は影焼の道に委ねた。あの子がその道に倒れたら私も死ぬ。その
Shit.
時は本家光のこと頼むよ。
貴様本気か。
言ったろ、死は武人の定めのうち。いいも悪いもない。戦いに敗れたら武人は死ぬ。それだけのことさね。
スバ
殺さずって言ってる本人が死んだんじゃかっこつかないからね。やめときたいもんだけど、ま、うちの子はできるやつだから大丈夫だろう。
Damn.
ル影焼を信じて託すというのか。
うん。
Okay, this is actually gorgeous episode.
わしとて奴には信を置くところがある。でなくば冗談にも山賊退治を命じたりなどせん。
ああ、あんたも見るとこは見てくれてるな。母親としちゃ嬉しいことだ。
だが平次はなべて運不運ぞ。たとえ影焼にことをなす力があろうとうまくいくとは限らん。
分かってるさ。
ならばなぜかけられる。息子と自分の命を。
How? How can she risk her life?
同じ話の繰り返しになるけどね。それしかないからさ、本家。そうするしか山賊とのいさかいを収める道はないんだよ。
That makes actually sense, you know? Now when she mentioned this, like, if Subaru, like, if Kagaki dies and Subaru dies with him, then basically the people of the bandits and like families have no one to take revenge on, basically. The circle is ended. I mean, there's still Hikaru. But yeah. She's like pretty much on like the deathbed. Anyway.
殺し合いが始まったら、あとは無限の連鎖だ。いつまでも続く。怨恨に果てはないからね。終わらせるには、それがどんなに困難でも、殺さない方法を取り続けるしかない。あんたが条件くっつけたせいで、影焼にはタイムリミットがついて、余計厄介になっちまったみたいだけどね。
Yeah, the time limit is hard, like what's the solution? Like fast solution means fast solutions.
ただの皮肉だよ。光の状態が差し迫ってるのはあんたのせいじゃない。そんなものなくたって私がそろそろ始めるつもりだったからね。山賊問題の解決。ことがこう転んで一緒に光の件も片付けられそうになったのはま、いいことだ。
It's the only way. The only way to bring the end to the conflict. The only way to save Hikaru. Of course. Why I didn't see it before. Understanding wishes over me. Washes over me. A cold wave to douse the fire in my skull. With sudden clarity, I at last realized what I should have seen from the outset. Kill that bandit leader. And then what? Yeah, the pack will dissolve into chaos, but then? What? Will they scatter into the wilderness? Look for easier prey to hunt? Blind optimism. There's no guarantee of that. What's to say that losing their leader won't make them even more dangerous? That they won't descend on the town like a swarm, looting and pillaging without restraint or reason? Isn't that the far more likely outcome? Actually, yeah, probably, like someone else will take over, right? How to avoid that catastrophe? Should I kill every bandit, not just their leaders? Nonsense. As if I had such power. I would die long before reaching that goal. And what would I leave behind? Hatred, malice, a storm of vengeance? Poised to consume the town? That won't solve anything. That won't save anyone. My mother's right. Little force isn't the option. I have to persuade them to lay down the weapons without taking a single life. It won't be easy, it may even be impossible, as the old master believes. My mother has already taken her life on this path, even though she can only watch from afar. My heart, however, was weak, all too ready to take the easy way out. I did not understand the gravity of the task before me, the terrible road that the true warrior must walk. But now my resolve is firm. He's still going to do this? I kneel, facing the doors of the guest room, then bow until my head touches the earth. A sword is a tool to save lives. I will follow this path, wherever it leads, without killing anyone. I will end the conflict and save Hikaru and my mothers both. Okay, so he's not going to kill. So what's going to happen? What kind of solution we have? I mean, we don't have time. Oh my god. I got to sleep in the dojo, knowing that the whole solemnity will keep my resolve strong. What? It didn't sound like she's like scared or something. It's more like the funny, I would say, scream. Like she was like just like being goofy. At least that's how the voice actor sounds for me. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Yeah, he probably did something like stupid. A short while later, my mother's scream jerks me awake. For the next few hours, she alternates between sobbing into my chest and beating me over the head. Like, he disappeared from the house, I guess, and she was like looking for him. I forgot to dispose of the letter. Oh my god. Okay. I forgot about the letter as well. I'm with you, Kageaki. A lot happened. A lot happened. Yes, I understand. Wow. Okay. Muramasa is great. Like, I miss that. Like, I don't think we had this kind of writing recently in Muramasa. Like, we had like very serious things going on, and then suddenly we had the snap to joking around a little bit. I don't think we had much of this lately. So I very appreciate that moment. I wake the next morning at the crack of dawn. The sky visible through my window is grey. The sun not yet risen above the horizon. What has woken me so early? Is it the energy thrumming through my every cell, the manifestation of my renewed resolve? Or was it the premonition of doom? In the dim light, the garden appears submerged in the bottom of the lake. The air is utterly still, nary a soul yet to rise from their slumber. I can feel it. Today's silence is not peaceful one. There's something ominous to it. Something threatening. Oh my god. What's happening? It doesn't take me long to locate the source. Shit! They actually came to them. Oh wow. Hello, that's not actually good. This is kind of like actually bad. So that might be a problem actually. Like how she like sneaked in that actually. I wonder. Yeah, so we have like actually another duel, I guess. The steps out from behind the tree at the far end of the yard, no longer attempting to hide her presence. At first she seems displeased at having been discovered, but her frown quickly changes to a casual smile.
手間が省けたってものね。お前の寝床を探して回らなくて済んだのだし。
そうも。 この住所をお教えした記憶もないのですが。
そんなの調べればすぐにわかることよ。
True enough.
御用の向きは。
聞かないとわからないの？
Yeah, that's pretty obvious.
察しはつきますが、生き死にに関わること、万一の誤りもないよう。
生き死にのことならなおさらいちいち確かめている暇などないでしょうに。お前が寝こけていたらそのまま首に切りつけるつもりだったのだけど、私は。
Yeah, I guess.
それなら誤解の余地はもともとありませんが。
Yeah, no room indeed. If it would be sound asleep in my bed, as I normally would be, I would not have noticed her approach until she was on top of me. And even if I had woken before she took my head, the senses would be dull and my response sluggish. A man's sleep is deepest in hours before dawn.
今だって同じでしょ。これが見えないわけでもあるまいに。
She tosses me a long object, identical to the one in her left hand. I snatch it out of the air. A sword. The same one I used in our last duel.
奇襲する腹だった割に。
Yeah, that's pretty good response.
お前と真っ向から勝負して本当の優劣を知らしめられるのなら、元よりそれに越したことはありません。ただ平民ごときを相手にわざわざ勝負の体裁を整えてやる義理など全くなかったというだけよ。
そうですか。
Her logic is questionable, but I think I get the
自
idea.
分はあなたと対等に勝負する資格を得た。そんなところでしょうか。
そう思いたければ思いなさい。お前がこうして出てきたのなら、私は正面からお前、それだけのことよ。
Yeah, that's a problem.
お前は好きにしたらいい。この前のように小賢しい策を使ってみなさい。
Yeah, she already knows.
こん
一度あのような術策を用いた以上、信じていただけなくとも、それは我が身の不得ゆえというものですが。
The captain bears steel, and I follow suit. The weapon she gives me is pristine condition, polished just recently, by the looks of it. I see no reason to fear sabotage. If she weren't going to fight fair, she would not have armed me to begin with. And then, there are her eyes, which glow with battle lust. No question, she wants to prove her superiority against my full strength.
尋常にお相手つかまつる。
Didn't like his outfit changed? I think like this sprite, like this face, have different outfit than the face we have like from the side. This is kind of weird.
言っていなさい。
Hello, once again. I like to look at these backgrounds and see and like drawings and CGs. And they're like on the full screen. Without another word, she assumes the right shoulder Jodan, Musha standard. I prepare to take my own stance, but first, there's one thing to get out of the way.
終了殿、
何？
勝負の前に取り決めをよろしいか。
ああ。
Huh.
なに？うまい約束の仕方を思いついたわけ？今度は狩猟をやめたなんて言い訳が通らないような。それ。
いいえ、
I shake my head.
前回と同じ約束で結構です。自分が勝利した暁には町への略奪行為をやめていただく。あなたが勝ったなら好みをお好きに。
A strange offer, when you think about it. She already means for her victory to be my death.
何を考えているの？お前。
格別のことは。
I am simply setting my resolve. To extinguish her malice, I must defeat her without the use of petty tricks.
よろしいか。
結構よ。それ。
では。
Okay. I take my stance, Musha Jodan, mirroring my opponent. Yeah, that's like a different grab that Minato is using. Like, he's like more fully on the handle here, and she's like more on like the tip of it at the end.
吉野雲流合戦霊峰港影明参る
Okay. Is it the same name that he's telling when he's about to use the railgun, basically? Right now? Nowadays? I think he's saying the same stuff, the same thing. I mean, in Japanese, Reiho is basically the canon, right? Like, I think that means canon or something like that.
六原新影流対等の名乗りなどおこがましいけれど流名だけはくれてあげる
Okay, I guess so. So she actually have like Rokuhara, like they have like different style of school, I guess, to follow up. So yeah, this is basically battle between two totally different schools. She takes a step. The arrogance from our last duel has vanished. Now there's only purpose in her stride. The cool composure of the veteran warrior. As expected. This will not be an easy fight. I can forget about using the blunt edge of my weapon. Weight, balance, shape, katana are designed to be held with the cutting edge forward. Even the hilt wrapping is done in such a way as to facilitate the standard grip, and any deviation from that will render your weapon slow and clumsy. I'm already at the disadvantage in training and experience. Another handicap, and my slim chance of victory will dwindle to nothing. I must bring all my strength to bear, yet avoid dealing a fatal blow. A prospect, very nearly as doubting as it would be to use the blunt edge of my blade. But if it will improve my chances even slightly, then I have to duty to take that risk. Mine is not the only life at stake. The captain approaches slowly. Slowly, her feet never leaving the ground. A snail's pace, and all the more terrifying for it. It is extremely challenging to maintain posture and balancing during such slow, precise movement, just as it is more difficult to control a bicycle rolling at the crawl. The gradual advance is an art that requires many years of training, and the fear I feel as she slides ever closer is because I know what it represents. A perfectly stable center of gravity, a rock-solid yet mobile foundation that will allow her to strike within her full speed and strength at the exact moment that I come within range. If I'm to be victorious, then I too will have to seize that moment, and without setting so much as a fraction of a second, I relax my eyes, searching for an equilibrium that will let them stay open without straining the muscles. My feet stay planted. I do not go to meet her advance. This is one of these moments when you don't want to talk and just like focus on what's going on. By moving towards her at my own pace, I could disrupt her sense of timing and perhaps claim the initiative. But the attempt would almost certainly end in my death. When the two swordsmen vie the position, it is the more senior combatant who holds the advantage. A few years in my uniform and duel or two can hardly compare to the battlefield experience of Rokuhara Musha. If I keep still, then while I surrender control of the range, I gain the advantage when it comes to reading it. Yeah, that's true. As long as my opponent is moving, however slowly, it will be more difficult for her to calculate the killing zones of our weapons. I can only hope that therein lies my chance. The morning haze is thick between us. I spy no hint of her breath in the air. Is she having the same problem? Or am I an open book? The body depends on its muscles for locomotion, and your position on the breathing cycle is what determines how much energy they can bring to bear. The muscles are weakest during inhalation and the most efficient during exhalation, while the period of stasis between the two serving as a middle ground. Is that the thing actually? Like this inhalation and exhalation the most efficient? I don't know if that's a thing. Let me know in the comments if that's a thing. Is this? Might be. In combat, therefore your breathing cycles is like the timetable of guard shifts at the bank. If your opponents can read it, then she will know exactly when you're most vulnerable. In order to prevent a fatal lapse, keep your exhalation slow and soft. Govern one part of the cycle and the rest will follow. As I bring my breathing under control, I realize that the distance between us has shrunk considerably. A few more seconds, and it will be time. Time for me to strike. From the angles and points available to me, I can calculate the distance to within a centimeter. Whoa, okay. My mind draws an invisible arc in the air before me. When she crosses it, she'll be my range. My range. Ooh. So basically she have, I guess, like she's the red one. So she have like larger range, I guess. Or maybe, no, this is Kakeaki probably. Weird picture. Our weapons are approximately the same length, but I am taller and longer of limb, and that translates to reach advantage. Oh, okay. So the red one is Kageaki actually. So he can like strike earlier. The first move is mine. For a short window, I will be able to strike while my enemy will not. The Captain Glacier's slow advance seems almost designed to make it easier for me to seize the chance. Preposterous, of course. I mean, she can like also calculate the distance, right? And when she's like almost at his range, she can like just dash in. And that would like probably surprise him. Or is it? Perhaps she is being considerate, offering me a prime opportunity, in the hope that I will take it, and open myself to a counter. Yep. The range advantage only exists until I make my move. When I launch my body into the attack, I will also be entering the opponent's kill zone. The range advantage, therefore, is not inherently decisive. That said, my attack still comes first, and initiative is a powerful ally. In order to cancel out the advantage, she will have to reply without so much as the nanosecond of the lost time, which is of course impossible. Veteran though she may be, the Ventus Musha will be forced to start the race a few positions back. There is a possibility that she will overtake me with pure speed, but I think the odds are in my favor. It's time. Okay. For an instant, the captain's eye seems to glow. I hold my position, letting the opportunity pass me by. She seems surprised by this. Ooh, okay. And for good reason. The advantage will not be mine for much longer. Her continuing advance will soon bring her in range for her own strike. But though conventional wisdom demands action, her last words stay in my hand. Yeah, this is like totally different school you have. More accurately, the Rokuhara branch of the Yagyu Shinkenryu. Oh, okay. So they're pretty similar, I guess. The most famous of the schools, once sponsored by the Tokugawa shogunate. The Rokuhara branch was founded in the closing years of Tokugawa when a Yagyu swordmaster abandoned his clan and threw his lot in with in with the Imperial Court. They are coming under her banner. While its teachings differ in many ways from those of the original Yagyu school, it quickly rose to prominence within the new shogunate martial hierarchy. And now the Grandmaster of the school even has a place on the Shogun Council. Okay, so he's pretty much influential person. Like, council in this kind of like political power, basically, like shogunate and stuff. Council is like the main thing that like basically orders around in the country, so yep. The current Grandmaster is one Yagyo Joansai, a man hailed as one of the greatest swordsmen of this age. It is said that he even commands the Ashigaka clan personal bodyguard, the Umayashu, but he is a topic for another time. My concern now lies with another school that served the Tokugawa clan, the Onoha Itoryu, and specifically with the legendary technique that earned its fame. Kiryotoshi. Okay. To perform Kiryotoshi, the Itoryu swordsman first enters the enemy to attack him head on. He waits for the attack to begin, and once the enemy is committed, only then does he make his move, answering with a strike that perfectly mirrors his opponent's. Normally, it would cause the blades to lock, but through subtle control of the direction force, the Kiryu Otoshi practitioner deflects the enemy's sword and cuts into his flesh. Defense and offense in a single stroke. It would be foolish to assume that this woman, as Shinkan-ryu discipline, has not studied Kiryu Otoshi. Itoryu and Shinkan-ryu were rivals for Tokugawa favor, and it's said that they made a habit of stealing each other's techniques. And even without such history between them, it is not unusual for different schools to develop the same techniques. There are only so many ways of wielding the sword. This is why I know what Kiryu Otoshi entails. The Oshino Onryu has a similar technique, one we call Ushishio. I wonder, like, if Ichihime was like, you know, teaching Ichijo like also sword, not only the fist fight, then I wonder if she was like in what school, like which school that Ayane knows actually. Maybe this is just like some random swordsmanship, or is it like maybe one of like important ones? I wonder. If she answers my attack with Kiryu Otoshi, then victory is a question not of speed, but of which of us can better read the other strike. I also may attempt Kiryu Otoshi, but it will mean nothing unless my reading is superior. In this situation, having the first strike becomes the disadvantage. While it is possible to change the heading of a sword in mid-slash, the degree of freedom is severely limited. This means that my opponent will know more or less the precise nature of my stroke, and the moment I unleash it, and will be able to act accordingly, while I will have to struggle to adapt to hers. That's like a stalemate, basically. Like, how do you oh my god, like... The sword fights in Muramasa are so freaking complicated. But I guess, like, they are true. I mean, usually you don't need to, like, fight for 10 minutes with swords, doing fancy moves. Usually it takes, like, 1 or 2 strikes, I guess. If you, like, specialize in this. The most I can realistically expect in this scenario is to take her with me. Hence the saying that the master of Kiryu Otoshi may know death, but never defeat. And so I decide to let the opportunity pass. The risk of a counter is simply too great. Anxiety grows in my chest. Am I throwing away my best hope of victory? But I cast it aside and recalculate the distance. My advantage is coming to an end. One more breath, and my enemy too will have the range. At present, I have 3 possible courses of action. 1. To strike now, while I still have advantage. 2. To strike when we both have the range. And 3. To wait for the enemy strike. In each case, the enemy response will determine the outcome. Case 1. Strike now while the range is mine alone. If the captain answers with Kiryotoshi, I lose. Otherwise, the initiative should grant me victory. Case 2. Strike later, when we both have range. If the enemy strikes too, then conditions are equal, and speed alone will tell the tale. If she uses Kiryotoshi, I die. Case 3. Wait for the enemy to attack. If she comes as I hope, then victory is mine, assuming that I'm able to perform Uchishio with my meager skill. If she holds her hand, then the battle simply continues. So case 3 is basically the best for you. Each case has its pros and cons. It all comes down to what I fear most in my enemy. If I take her speed as the greatest threat, then I must strike now, while I have head start. Once she has her range, at best, I can hope for will be an even race. I mean, in every case you die outside of case 3, right? If she goes hand, simple battle continues, yeah. If on the other hand, I'm more worried about the possibility of counter, then the first and second choices are out of the question. I must take the third and let her strike first. So which is it? Speed or technique? The answer comes easily enough. I wait and watch the distance between us to continue to shrink. Everything may change in the next moment, or the next, but for this moment I do nothing. And in that moment, she steps into range. The result? Perfect stillness. Neither of us moves. Oh yeah. This is like... Oh my god, that's intense. This is basically... You know what it reminds me of? Of the prologue. Of the very prologue of the game. Like, we had this Rokuhara, and the guy, I don't remember his name. You can remind me of it? Maybe he's important actually, and I just forgot about him? The guy who was from the village, or he was in the village, and they were like both in the stalemate basically, and the age of the guy just made him to lose basically, because he couldn't like hold up. This is basically the same situation. The one with the better like physical condition have like advantage at this, I think. At once, our intentions are revealed. We are both lying in wait, each hoping that the other will make the first move, and that leaves us with a stalemate. Yeah, exactly as in the prologue. Remind me in the comments what was the name of the guy in the prologue. Maybe the Rokuhara Musha also had the name. You can let me know his name as well, because I totally forgot their names. And maybe they are important, maybe I just like forgot about them, and they apparently like are very important characters. Who knows? Might be the case. Wouldn't be surprised. It would be a suicide to attack an opponent who has already prepared to counter. My only choice is to force her to abandon that plan and attack. But she knows that I, too, am aiming for the counter. Her position is exactly the same as mine. A first to strike will die, which makes this now a battle of endurance, who will be forced to act. We stand facing each other, motionless as time passes by. You know what I think? I feel like Subaru or Hikaru will interfere. Either Kageaki will detect Subaru and he will get distracted, or Hikaru will just like scream because of her pain, and he will get distracted. I think like something like that will happen.
どうする
The battle has become fundamentally a waiting game, but that does not mean that there are no other ways to break the stalemate. You could stand down, for example. When reasonable warriors find themselves at this sort of impasse, it is customary for them to acknowledge each other as equals and settle on a draw. I might also choose to attempt a feint. If I give the appearance of my attack, my opponents may unleash her counter easily, giving me the opportunity to defeat it with a counter of my own. Two ways out, but unfortunately neither is viable. The first is obviously out of question. Given what we each are riding on this battle, neither of us can afford to back down, not even if the warrior code demands it. The same goes for the second, as I thought there were chances she might fall for a feint. I would have tried it before she got within range.
だが
That doesn't mean she won't try a feint, yeah. I may want to exercise caution when the captain makes her move. If I take it on blind faith that my chance has come, I may find myself driving headfirst into the trap. I've heard that veteran soldiers are especially skilled at such tactics. I must judge whenever she is truly coming in for the kill or merely attempting to beguile me. The question is, whenever I can make that judgment, in the split second, I will have to act. Yeah, this is like probably the most complicated stuff. Difficult, yes. Dreadfully so, however.
見極めれば勝てる
Probably. If I can recognize her feint as such, then I only need to pretend to go for the counter, thus drawing out her own counter, which I may then defeat. A counter, 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 as it were. What is this? Of course, there's no guarantee that her counter won't be annoyed feint, but the odds of victory have to be higher than if I lead with the feint of my own. And so, I keep waiting. Like, Minato don't have really opportunity to do this anymore. Like nowadays. Together with Muramasa, he basically go for like just full on fights. Maybe he doesn't met anyone who's like that skilled as her. Who knows, maybe she was like the strongest opponent he had to face so far. Waiting for my enemy's move, as just she's waiting for me.
立ち合いの開始から今7呼吸と半
I don't know what that equates to in seconds, but time has little meaning in this duel. Far more important is the state of my breathing, a direct reflection of my physical condition. Long battles such as this are draining, but at present my condition remains optimal. Endurance is the one thing in which I have some confidence. I'm fairly certain that I can match even the strength soldier before me. If she also suspects that she may be the first to flag, then she will likely strike before long.
彼女は来る
Okay. But why? Why she must strike? Of course. From the beginning her purpose in this duel was to prove herself the better swordsman. But I have never doubted that. In which case, the stalemate weighs more heavily on her than on me. I lose nothing by letting it continue, but to her, the fact that we are deadlocked, which is to say evenly matched, is a repudiation of the very goal that brought her here. Okay, that makes sense. This is like really complex mind game here. If I will not strike, then she must. This is the only way to prove her superior.
来る
And now. Oh. She moved a little bit. So that's her play. The captain does indeed make her move, but one that utterly betrays my expectations. She's coming closer, basically. A single half step in my direction. Another, but no sign of attack. My enemy has resumed her advance.
いかぬ
I feel the blood drain from my face as icy fingers play up my spine. I guess that makes like sense because she's smaller, right? So the closer she is, the bigger advantage she have. Like small enemy, if he's like close to the big enemy, have a more advantage. Like we had like this fight before with Arahabaki, right? In like Tsurugis. Like that was possible and kind of like maybe not easy, but it was possible for Muramasa to like dodge everything that Arahabaki threw at on her because she was like small. I don't know, but yeah, guess it makes sense. Like she will need less range. She have less range, and she'll need like less movement to basically make a strike than Kageaki. Kageaki needs like bigger swing. The captain aim is glaringly apparent, though I realize it far too late. Yeah, kills my range. Goes too close for you to strike. When wielding the sword, or any weapon for that matter, your first concern is whenever your target is in range. This is not, however, as simple as having him in reach of your blade. If, for example, the enemy is only close enough to strike with the tip of your sword, then he is not considered in the range. Because a slash made with the only tip is unlikely to do significant damage. Okay, so this is the Monouchi, this part here. In order to deliver a blow strong enough to cleave through muscle and bone, you must strike with the part of the blade located between 10 and 30 centimeters below the tip. This is called Monouchi. If you make contact with any part of blade above or below the Monouchi, then strike will lack the force needed for certain kill. That's smart. At the current distance, we are both in position to strike with our Monouchi, but if she continues to advance, sooner or later, she will be too close to strike with my Monouchi. However, I will still be within range of hers. Yeah, because she's smaller and have like less range of the movement. And shorter hands. This is like, wow. This is like truly showing like the advantage of experience, basically. Like, I didn't expect that. My superior reach, which gave me the advantage at the start of the duel, has now become my liability. But simply, my minimum range is greater than hers. The moment she passes below that range, she will be able to strike without fear or repulsal, while I will be faced with the momental task of defeating against my opponent, who from my perspective may as well be attacking from inside my own body. Yeah. That means you have to strike or you have to move back. Both are bad. This is the inherent danger in facing an opponent smaller than oneself. I should have been guarding against it from the start. My only escape is to strike now, before it comes to pass. But this way too lies death. Her counter is waiting, of that I have no doubt. So nothing has changed. Save it now, I have a time limit pressing at me. If I strike death, if I wait death. Yeah. The idea flashes through my head. Retreat, move backward, away from the enemy. Wouldn't that solve my problem? I could maintain distance that allows me to act, thereby prolong the stalemate, which should work at my... I quickly dismiss the thought. The moment I shift my weight to rear, I'm dead. Oh fuck, okay. That's bad. How do you do this? I will lose my ability to strike with my body, making my sword ineffective. The captain will be able to attack with impunity, and will easily overpower any defense, given that I'm already falling away from her. She must have considered every possible response to her advance. I would be delusional to hope that she won't seize the opportunity. If I strike death, if I wait death, if I retreat death, no way out. No hope of even postponing the inevitable. Time marches on, counting down on the moment of my doom. Under 2 or 3 centimeters, and the sword in my hand will lose its meaning. Of course, my goal is not to kill Captain. Perhaps my sword does not need its full strength. True, but will it still have stopping power when it no longer kill? Will I be able to find that perfect balance? No, the chance of that is too slim to rely on. In swordsmanship, killing force is defined as the ability to cut through bone. If my sword lacks it, then even if my strike lands first, it will cut at most a few centimeters into her shoulder. That won't stop her. A fraction of a fraction of a second later. What is this? Like counter of counter of counter, fraction of fraction. Oh. Her sword will plow through my collarbone and into my chest cavity. Defeat. Alright. Then what if I land a hit without taking one myself? That will at least weaken her and turn the tide in my favor. A successful Ushishio would do the trick, or maybe I can evade her first strike with quick footwork. I reject this plan too. After a few mental simulations reveal that I will need to defy both of my limitations and the laws of physics if I'm to pull something like that off. The range is just too close to maneuver. Nothing I can do will make it in time. That leaves me only with 2 options. Strike and pray for miracle to occur, or accept defeat and wait for her blade to end my life. There's nothing else. Nothing. Wow. Lost before even the sword swing. Wow, this fight is... wow. This is like the master level of fight. Like, you don't need to swing your swords, you just need to win the battle before it even started. I mean, it started the moment they drawn the swords. And it's basically settled at this point. Wow. Although we haven't had a single exchange, the duel seems all but decided. Yeah, exactly. I have never felt such a despair as this. So much riding on this battle. The fate of the town, my sister's life.
母親としては一緒に死んでやるくらいか。
Yeah, and Subaru will die too. And my mother's. Defeat is unacceptable, yet defeat is what I am facing. If only this desperation would awaken some power hidden inside me. But no, the world is not so kind. Desperation brings only great despair. My vision is rapidly losing color. The same phenomenon experienced by Musha during extreme caloric deficiency. This episode is a sign of anxiety, not freeze. But ultimately, they mean the same thing. Impending collapse. I'm digging my own grave. But even though I know what is happening, I can do nothing to stop it. My mind is cloaked in fog, and the world is slipping away. Wow, you can hear wow! You can hear it in his voice. He's like frightened. My second attempt to regain control proves no more successful than the first. The words sound distant, foreign, my sense of place and positioning fading. The situation is dire, my body is growing numb. The moment my distress becomes apparent to the enemy, I'm finished. She will strike and I will die. I will die and my mission will fail. More lives than my own are at the stake here. Like a drowning man scrubbing at driftwood, I struggle desperately to hold my dissolved body together. All my efforts are in vain. The despair surging through me cannot be stayed from its nefarious purpose. First my legs vanish from beneath me, leaving my body suspended in the air. Oh, I know that if I look down, I will find them right before they should be. Although my eyes seek to fulfill that urge, I cannot allow them to stray for even a second from the enemy before me. And so I left with a feeling of utter weightlessness, as if my sword and I were flying through the open sky. A thought floats idly through my head. This must be how a Musha feels. The Musha in flight. The legs are merely auxiliary stabilizers. The loss is not a major impediment.
羨ましいことだ。
Perhaps I'm able to entertain such fantasies because I know the death is near. Even now, time rolls on. My enemy approaches, and with her comes oblivion. So it comes to this. In the small corner of my mind, still clinging to reality, I prepare myself to do what must be done. At this point, I have only one choice: to strike first, and strike everything on a slim hope that her counter will fail. My chances of success are 1 in a million. Hey, but you won. You are in the future, so you win this. But compared to what they will be once she passed under my range, they might as well be certain. But first, I must regain control of my legs. With all the blood gone to my head, my lower body is cold and numb. I turned away from the part of my still lost in despair, and focus all that remains on remembering my wayward limbs. I know they are there. I need to find them. Relax. You are not Musha, flying through the sky. You are a man with 2 legs supporting you. A Musha in flight may need no legs to strike, but this is the ground. A step in is required. Without the step in, your strike will lack power, range, and... That sound right now sounded like a Tsurugi. We had that sound like when Ginseigo, I think, appeared or something. In a flash, everything falls into place. My vision clears, my mind awakens, and feeling returns to each part of my body. I take stock: 2 arms, 2 legs, hips and spine, a blade in my hands. The scattered pieces of myself has rejoined with one another. I'm whole once more. And none too soon, a half breath later, my enemy takes the final step. Oh, he moved. Yeah, like, no wonder she's surprised. Like, why would he move in? He's basically giving disadvantage to him, right? And I still have my range. Did he move back? But on the screen he moved in. This is not lost on the Captain, that she says her hand is a proof of that. I have merely affected a minor change in posture, angling my knees in such a way as to shift my hips, my center of gravity, a few centimeters to the rear. A minor change, but that is all I needed. Where before I was poised to step into the strike, now I'm poised to strike where I'm standing. Oh, so he did not move. He didn't like go back. He just like moved his body a little bit. Like if you like position yourself a little like to the back, I guess, then yeah, your striking range is moving a little bit. This is the very same position I assume for my daily striking practice, the method by which a Musha learns to wield his sword without the use of his legs. But still, it doesn't change really nothing. I mean, she can still just come closer and closer, right? And I assume she can do the same to increase her range a little bit. Just in case. In general, it has no purpose in ground-based combat. There is normally no reason not to perform a step in when it's possible to do so. The extra speed and power granted by footwork are too valuable to be ignored. In certain extreme situations, however, such as when your opponent is nearly too close to strike, abandoning footwork has one benefit, which is to say the effect of shortening your minimum range. Yep. I can practically count the hairs on my enemy head, but thanks to this tiny shift in posture, she's still within the strike zone of my sword Monouchi. In retrospect, this play was rather obvious, but my preconceived notions of what a ground-based duel entailed prevented me from seeing it. I feel like a man who has barely managed to catch the edge of the cliff. Also, now I feel like I made the wrong title for the previous episode. This one should be called a duel. Not there's any time to feel relief. I have escaped certain death, yes, but only for the moment. While the captain has recognized the change, and what it means, she shows not a glimmer of doubt before resuming her advance. That beautifully dreadful slow advance. Now I truly have no choice but to strike. However, I cannot. As the captain reach is shorter than mine, she still has a few centimeters of latitude left. It may be possible for her to perform Kiryotoshi. Even at this close range, I must wait a little longer. The captain, on the other hand, is in a position similar to mine at the beginning of the duel. I have no room to counter, which means that my only possible response to any strike of hers will be to aim for a draw. We both score a hit, in which case her best play is to strike first and claim the initiative. And yet she does not. She waits for me to make my move, closing all the while. Yep, she can still close in. Why does she persist? I can't be certain, but perhaps her pride demands it. If she pressures me into striking first, then defeats me with a counter, it would be far better demonstration of her superiority than the victory won through speed alone. I cannot deny that her malice, intensifying by the moment, strikes fear into my heart, and I slack in my mental reins, and I may fall upon her in a screaming frenzy. It takes all my willpower just to stand and wait. A little longer. I need to endure for just a little longer. The last chance is nearly at hand. Once she reaches the inside limit of her own minimum range, then she too will have no choice but to strike. Neither of us will have room to counter. There will be no feints, no clever tricks. Raw speed alone will decide the victor. A purely even match. Which warrior is faster? Which is stronger? One exchange, and we'll know our answer. The last chance, the moment of truth. The range is point blank. The enemy close enough to reach and out and... I don't have any more water to drink, goddammit. The range is point blank, my enemy close enough to reach out and touch. Okay, her face fills my sight, cold and calm as the surface of lake. She's a bandit, a deserter, a former Okuhara soldier. I would have to think long and hard to find one thing about her worthy of admiration. But at this moment, she's a warrior, no more nor less. She's a vessel of might, the pure expression of a single goal, the deduction of Minato Kageaki. The sun rises.
De wa, Subaru sama, こちらが包帯。それに金装薬になります。
You really ending this like that? She's clearly trying to treat someone, so I guess Kageaki or leader. Wow. Wow, okay. Okay. So who's she threatening? She's threatening the leader or she's threatening the Kageaki or both of them? Who's injured? Who's dead? I guess Kagaki is not dead because we see him in the future. But I think the duel ended and this will end the episode for now. I will definitely record the next episode I don't know if today, maybe today, but it will be kinda loud today, so I'm not sure. But that was a good episode. That was so long fight. Such a long fight, but I like how detailed our fight in the Muramasa. They're not just like random sword swinging and awesome stuff, they're like awesome mind games in this as well. I really like this. I really like that episode. Let me know what you think about the episode in the comments, and I guess I will see you in the next one. So thank you for listening to me, and thank you for watching this episode with me. And yeah, I guess I will see you in the next one. So thank you once again, and for the Pocket Watch, let's going out.